Anthony, over here. Doing the analyst work that you've been doing recently, do you feel like that's improved yourself as a fighter at all by being able to study people a little bit more than maybe you normally would?
Yeah. I think it's helped my mental preparation a lot. As fighters, we don't typically watch two guys that are completely unattached to us. Like, if I'm watching a guy at light heavyweight fight, I'm always thinking, how would I fight that guy? What could I do there? But when you're watching, Benavidez versus Figueiredo, right? Yeah. Neither one of those guys are anywhere close to me. I have nothing to do with those guys as far as my career goes. And it's not even what I would do with Benavidez or what I would do with Figueiredo. It's, if I was Joseph Benavidez, how would I fight Figueiredo? And looking at it completely separated from that is really, it's kind of made me a bigger fan of the sport, because I guess I didn't realize how good some of these guys are, and just how smart they are, and how they approach the game. And then a lot of the younger guys, it's been really fun to watch some of the guys coming off the Contender Series, and the first 3 fights of the night that no one seems to give a shit about. I've been having a lot of fun trying to give those guys as much love as I can, because sometimes I don't think they get it.
Yeah, and a lot of fighters have gotten into doing commentary too. Is that something you'd ever be interested in doing?
Yeah. It's a lot more work than working the desk. And I think they're pretty set on the commentary guys right now. I think once we start traveling again, like doing international shows, I think that's when I may have an opportunity. But as far as all the shows stateside, I think that there's plenty of guys. You got Bisping, Felder, DC, Dominic Cruz, and then the guys that are doing the play-by-play. So I absolutely don't deserve an opportunity with those guys kind of reigning over the commentary stuff. That's their spot. But I think when we start traveling internationally, I'll start pushing for those opportunities more.
And last thing for me, as for the fight itself, do you feel like pressure relief at all when you're on such a big card like this, and maybe the focus isn't on you as much, like spotlight-wise?
Yeah, I had 7 straight main events. And 2 of them weren't supposed to be main events, but last second it ended up being that way. So it's nice to kind of just sit in the back, and I guess there's not a whole lot of focus on me. And deservingly so. Like the 3 title fights absolutely deserve the attention they're getting. So it's nice to just let them kind of take it and deal with it.
Yeah. Thanks, Anthony. Good luck.
Thank you.
You obviously got in the UFC by getting through the Ultimate Fighter, and they just announced the season 29 coming up here. Just curious, what are your thoughts on the Ultimate Fighter continuing to go? Do you like the format? Just remembering your experience on it and everything.
First of all, this guy got some swag. I like this dude. Look at that. You know what that means? It means I took time to prepare myself. I respect you. I think that's so important these days, to take some time to fucking put into yourself. You're the fucking man.
Appreciate it.
And to answer your question, I saw a little preview. One of my dreams is to absolutely teach the Ultimate Fighter. I think that I would be a great asset to that. What Chael did for me in that time, man, it couldn't have been any more remarkable. I think at the given time where I was, I was young, I was hungry, I was homeless. So I bought a one-way ticket going out to Vegas saying, this is it. I didn't even know how I was going to make it back. That's how important it was to me. And over 800 people tried out. I ended up being one of them. And, I did my due. It didn't turn out to the end in results. But, man, that whole time gap was exactly where I needed to be. I was uncomfortable, and I got comfortable with it. I realized at some point it's not called the Ultimate Fighter. I'm sorry, not the Ultimate Friends. It's the Ultimate Fighter, because after that Adam Sella kick, their team was scared of me. My team was scared of me, and you're in a house with nothing else to do, There's no outside activity. I mean, the only outside you got is the yard. You can't go outside and open the gate and take a walk. You got the gym. It's a pressure cooker, and it's just training constantly. There's alcohol, there's all these temptation, there's cameras walking around. It's a clusterfuck. And at maybe the week 4, I got, let me zone in on this and take the advantage. And, man, it was such a great experience. I would do it again, to be honest. I think it was a great experience.
You mentioned the Adam Sella head kick right there. Do you think that gets enough appreciation for, one of the greatest knockouts ever? It's a little unappreciated, I think.
It's funny. I think even the UFC posted this. They said, greatest tough kick ever? Question mark. What the fuck do you think? I think it is. If you're going to keep posting that and ask, what do you think? But again, it's just to have people comment and all that stuff. But hell yeah, it is, man. I mean, I feel like I'm a one-hit wonder with that. I can save a baby out of a fucking burning plane. No one will remember that. They'd be like, yeah, that's cool. But that kick you did, that's better, you know? But, hey, it's my signature. I'll take it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Uriah. Best of luck, man.
Thank you.
You've fought so many great opponents throughout your career. I'm just curious where you would say Randy Brown stacks up with the rest of them.
Você já enfrentou grandes nomes na divisão, né? Ótimos atletas. E onde você acha que o Randy Brown se encaixa nessa lista aí do pessoal que você já enfrentou?
Poxa, ele é um cara que é duro. Ele é um cara duro, sim. E que pra ele entrar aqui no UFC, aqui estão os melhores do mundo, né, cara? Então, eu já enfrentei muitos caras duros. E ele é um cara duro pra caramba também. Ele é grande. Vai ser difícil eu encostar nele, né, por causa da distância, mas não é impossível. Mas ele se encaixa lá entre os melhores lá, que eu vou botar lá no meu card lá com mais uma derrota. É isso.
So I've already fought some of the best in the division, and let's be honest, if he's in the UFC and he's doing well here, he is one of the best in the world. There is no question about it. And if he's doing well, I know that it's going to be another great name to add to my record. It's just going to be another big name among so many others in my record.
And just kind of to springboard off of that, do you have anybody specific that you would say has been your toughest opponent so far?
Aproveitando esse papo sobre seus oponentes, né, tem algum em específico que você consideraria tipo o seu maior oponente até hoje?
Tem, cara. Meu oponente, cara, que foi o que quebrou meu nariz, cara. O Havaiana, que quebrou meu nariz que eu lutei contra ele. O Andes Medeiros. E é um adversário que, poxa, até hoje tá aqui, que ele quebrou meu nariz. Mas tá tranquilo, respeito ele, mas vamos pra próxima.
Yeah, out of everybody, I think the one that is, it's the toughest one for me. It was Medeiros, the Hawaiian kid, because, he broke my nose. It was a really tough fight. He's still a little bit stuck in my throat, but hopefully I can get to fight him again and get that sorted out.
Yeah, we'd love to see that rematch. And last thing for me, Alex, you've great career, fought everybody, like I said. What would you say has been kind of, if you could pinpoint the biggest learning experience throughout your journey so far?
Como a gente falou, né, você tem uma baita carreira, né? Qual que você acha que foi o maior aprendizado que você teve nesse seu período aqui dentro do UFC?
Cara, depois que eu entrei no UFC, a gente aprende muita coisa, né, cara? Vai te atrapalhar, vai se traduzir agora, bicho. Como a gente aprende com nossos erros, né? Dinheiro, falsas amizades, ilusões, tá ligado? E falsos amigos. Aprendi muita coisa. E hoje em dia eu sou um cara totalmente diferente. Hoje em dia eu posso falar que eu sou um atleta de ponta, que eu dou muito valor ao meu trabalho, mais ainda, e focado na minha missão.
So once I got to the UFC, I started seeing a lot of things happen. With a little time in here, you start to understand a little bit better about money, about bad friendships, about people trying to take advantage of you. People selling you dreams that are not there to be achieved. And end of the day, I know that I'm the best version of myself today. I learned a lot throughout this whole process. And, only better things are going to come from here.
Best of luck, Alex. I want to go back to the knees thing again, and just where do you stand on grounded knees and the legality? Are you for them being there? I think it would benefit your style a little bit, but just what do you think about them?
You're just not used to seeing it for a long time. Obviously Pride and stuff, and some of the shows in Asia and Russia, I think, allow it. But, for me and my style, it makes perfect sense. And obviously, we're always trying to get closer and closer to as real of a street fight as possible, but also being, but keeping the athlete safe. And I'm not sure, the science behind, if you learn how to protect yourself properly, even from the knees on the ground, if it's that much of an issue health-wise to the fighters on the ground. If you're focused on stopping that, I wouldn't be opposed to having these completely legalized on the ground.
Yeah, and as for your style in general, the last fight we saw a little bit of some Wonder Boy karate movement from you. Just curious if we can expect more of that in this fight.
Yeah, I like mixing it up. As martial artists, you have to be completely open-minded to every martial art that's ever been around, and I do what makes the other person feel uncomfortable. So when I'm in there and I'm working, like if I'm in a traditional stance and I feel like he's getting off and I'm not, and like he feels comfortable when I don't, I'm going to switch it up. I might switch it to southpaw. I might go Wonder Boy style on him. Might be crazy pressure into my wrestling. Khabib. I take pieces of so many different MMA fighters on what they do great, and I try to create my own.
And last thing for me, I know you've collaborated with Monster a bit in the past and whatnot. Just curious your thoughts on Dominic Cruz's call out of that and Hans Molenkamp.
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
All right.
What?
Ariane back here. Was there any motivation or extra motivation for you coming into this fight with the strawweight title on the line? Did that kind of boost you to show off your skills on this card where it's kind of showcasing the strawweight division a little bit?
Para você é legal estar fazendo essa luta de volta num card em que o cinturão da tua divisão tá sendo disputado também, né? É uma chance de você aparecer de repente mais do que normal com essa luta.
Com certeza, o UFC numerado ainda com card que está como hoje, com certeza uma visibilidade maior e poder acompanhar também as duas, a luta pelo cinturão da minha categoria, tem nem como explicar, estou feliz demais, ainda por mais estar aqui nesse UFC.
Mas vai ter que assistir de casa, né?
Oi?
Mas vai ter que assistir.
Pena que eu vou ter que assistir em casa, eu queria estar ali com o público, mas não tem o que fazer.
So yeah, for sure, it's a great card to be at. Whenever you're at a numbered event, it's always a good exposure for you, especially for us in Brazil, fighting on the opening fight. We get broadcasted on a much higher network that gets way more viewers than if you're on any other part of the card. First two fights, pretty much anybody with basic cable gets in Brazil. So that's a really great place to showcase my skills. And she said, it's great to be here and to watch the fights. And what I said to her, yeah, too bad you're going to have to go back to the hotel because they're not allowed to watch it here. So they're just going to have to watch it from home.
And as for that strawweight title fight, do you got a quick prediction for us?
E quanto à luta do cinturão, você tem alguma ideia do que vai acontecer?
Olha, eu tô com 50% para cada lado. Eu acho que a chinesa ela tem um jogo rápido, mas a potência dela nos golpes é maior que o da Rose. Mas hoje tem uma movimentação, ela é muito rápida também, tem uma movimentação de perna muito boa. Então eu prefiro não arriscar aí, eu quero assistir e esperar aí o que vem por aí.
Honestly, such a tough fight. It's tough for me to have an idea or guess what's going to happen. I'm just going to be there watching and hoping for, eventually get a chance against whoever wins. But, that's the thing. That's the top of the class. Those are two of the best girls that have ever fought MMA. So I'm just going to be there and watching the show.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anthony, to your right over there.
Oh, gotcha.
You've talked about so much of your experience that you have. Do you ever struggle to find interest in, challenges in people? Because you fought so many people, like you said.
No, I think some of it is my fight style too. I do put myself in some shitty spot, even as well as that fight went for me. I ended up on my back and kind of, he took my back on my way up. I still end up in that, so guys are still really competitive. So, yeah. All the motivation I need is in trying to get to the world title. That's it, man. That's all I need.
And commentary was really kind of pointing out your jab in this fight. Is that something you feel is maybe an underappreciated part of your game?
Oh, yeah, it has been. I think I would say it was underappreciated myself. I didn't until maybe 2 years ago. I didn't even really pay too much attention to the jab. But as you become a more technical and I don't know, maybe. When you have a plan, I didn't always have a plan in there. I just kind of went in and fought. So once I really worked on how I tactically approach fights, the jab became a big weapon. Because what just happened?
Chris,
Weidman just what?
Weidman's ankle just completely went out.
No, God damn it.
He just got silvered.
Oh, no. How'd he do it?
It looks like he just slipped.
Fucking way.
It literally looked exactly like the same as the Anderson.
Fuck, man.
I thought it was the ankle.
I mean, the whole thing was...
Fuck. Did some of my training camp with Weidman. I mean, I said this during the week. I don't know how Chris Weidman's ever lost a fight after training with him. He's the best guy I've ever trained with. He just can't catch a break. Sucks. Sorry. Well, anyways, to finish my answer, being more tactical, I had to bring in the jab because it just sets everything else. The rest of that entire fight was set up by the jab.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Thanks, man.
Dana, over here.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the strawweight division a lot, and it was a whole year since we saw the last title fight with Weili and Joanna. I'm assuming you're going to want to hope to maybe have that title a bit more active with the division being so deep right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right, great. And I know you had a little bit of a small reunion a week or so ago with Nobuyuki Sakigabara, Ryzen founder, Pride founder. Just curious if you can tell us, anything about how that went, what it was about.
Yeah, no, it was good to see him, and yeah, we got together a couple times that week that he was in town and talked, and yeah, it was good.
All right, thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Valentina, back here. Flawless performance out there tonight. Looks like you barely even fought, if at all. Are you thinking about when you might want to get back in there next?
As soon as UFC gonna give me the next name, I'm ready to get back. Yes, I feel great. I feel amazing, and my goal didn't change. I want to fight more frequently. It's not every time depends on me. I know media was bringing during the last media days what we have a lot that last few years I was fighting twice a year and I never count, but they told me. But goal still the same. It was not because of I wanted it. It just was certain circumstances why I could not fight, but I still want to fight more frequently.
Of course, and you mentioned your 28 years in martial arts. I'm just curious, from your standpoint and being such a big part of history, for the women in mixed martial arts, what would you say the defining moment has been for them?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just throughout the history of MMA, for the women specifically, do you think that there's one specific moment that kind of stands out among the rest as that's our moment that really solidifies the power of the women in mixed martial arts?
I think probably yes. This is the time for female martial arts. And this is a great time because, it's not because only through the everything, it's saying woman has to go forward. It's not only because of that. It's the most important that women, they are now so strong, so technically strong. So if you look back at the fighters back a few years ago, they was more simple, not that universal. But now we can see exactly fighters who can bring a lot of martial arts, a lot of beautiful arts, and stay attractive, beautiful, and feminine, do all the things. And it's it's kind of combination what make it the best time for us to do our thing.
Well said. Thank you, Valentina. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Rose back here. Dana mentioned that he sounds a little bit interested in maybe a rematch with Weili right away. Is that something you think you should wait on, or would you be open to it?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. It's understandable that she's pretty upset about how how quickly it went and everything like that. But that was perfect time and everything like that. So I'll be open to it, and we'll have to see.
And you're good friends with Valentina, who just wants to be insanely active as a champion. Are you hoping to be kind of the same way and just fight as much as possible at this point?
Yeah, that's something that I've been wanting to be more active for a while now, but just roadblocks and life gets in the way, or just broken nose and all that stuff. So if that's what is in my path, I will do that.
And last thing for me, you've been a solid part of history, obviously, breaking these records and all this, have these great moments. Just for the women in mixed martial arts and, having been a part of the history, like I mentioned, what would you say has been the defining moment for women in MMA?
The defining moment in women's MMA? Gosh, I mean, there's so many, right? You got Ronda Rousey, who opened the door for us into the UFC, and then you got and all of her amazing fights, and then Amanda Nunes, who took it to a whole nother level, and and then I guess I set my own record by getting this thing twice. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm just like humbled and flattered to be a part of this whole journey and just be a part of it.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Rose.
Thank you.
We talked about the welterweight division, how deep it is, and you've ran through everybody in your career so far. Just put out Masvidal, like the first time he's put out that way. Who would you say has been, your toughest opponent in your career so far?
Myself. When I go out there and I do what I do, I dominate everybody. That's why I feel like I'm the pound for pound best fighter. I dominate everyone. And so, as long as I'm in there and I'm present, I go out there and I do my thing and I dominate everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, you made it to the end. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you like this video and want to see more like it, give it a like and maybe subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, we'll see you next time.